Hi guys, welcome back to another video here from Rustguard. This is going to be a new type of video. This is going to be a product review. Alongside the detailing videos, I'm going to give tips and tricks and also reviewing some of the tooling and products that I use to detail motorbikes. Today we're going to be reviewing snow foaming tools, specifically the IK Foam Pro 2. So that's this device here. I'm going to cover sort of why I use this one, and I think this is sort of the best for motorcycle detailing. Alongside that, I understand, you know, there is many ways to snow foam a bike. You can do it by hand. There is also general hand pump devices that you can use, and then the most common that you will see is snow foam lances. This is a Ryobi one because I use a low power, battery powered wash for my motorcycle detailing. I'll cover that in another video at some point. So this is the IK Foam Pro 2. There was originally the IK Foam, I think it was called, and then you have the Plus. That's just a bigger tank, bigger volume for bigger vehicles. It's perfect really for a motorcycle. So this is the box. I'll give you a quick unboxing, show you what's inside. So there we go, we've got the foamer, and then inside the box you have some instructions, sort of how to use and maintain the device, because it does come with a bag of accessories. In there what you'll find is a couple of end caps in case you have two different types of treatments, so you can label the bottle, sorry. I'll show you there. You can see you can change those caps. You have these sort of mini nozzles. Those go inside, and that's what's sucking the foam up and mixing it. And then the key part to the Foam Pro is these sort of felt inserts. Those actually go inside the end tip, and that is what sort of creates the nice foam that you'll get from this Foam Pro. My first initial impressions when I opened this was sort of compared, so this is a conventional foaming lance that you'll get here in the UK. So this is from Wilkinson's, almost I guess like a Home Depot in America. It's just an hardware accessories type store. This is it's good. It's designed for sort of spraying plants indoors, spraying cleaning chemicals on driveways and paths. It's not really designed for car detailing or motorcycle detailing, but you can put a lot of treatments on with these if you don't want to anything high pressure, or you're using a snow foam where you need to mix the solution. If you're just putting it on neat, these are perfect. Brass adjustable nozzle and pump action, but it does feel quite cheap. Like this is quite flimsy sort of handle, and this sort of twists quite a bit as you're pumping it. When I first unboxed the IK, it just feels really well made. It's got a lot of weight to it. The handle, you can tell it's not hollow. You can sort of grip it and it doesn't flex. I will say the pump probably still has quite a bit of flexing. So what I've done with mine is actually just put a little bit of boat or waterproof grease, or whatever you call it, silicone. That'll just stop it from sort of jamming and then having a chance of me leaning on it and snapping it. It does go a lot smoother once the grease sort of works into that mechanism. Alongside that, it does have a really handy trigger, so a trigger lock, so you can't click this. Trust me, you don't want to spray snow foam everywhere. It's a pain to clean off because it does stick. So being able to switch that off when you're not using the device is such a nice feature. And it does have a removable nozzle, so you can pull it off. You can actually twist the nozzle itself for horizontal and vertical sprays, which is really handy, and also just take it off for cleaning. So I'd say initial impressions, really impressed with it. It's well made. It does warrant the extra money that you would pay over a conventional sprayer. So that gives you an initial impression of sort of what the IK Foam Pro is like. I'm really impressed with it so far, but I do want to give you a little bit of an idea of sort of how it compares to using a lance or a conventional spraying bottle. And I guess I'll just give a little bit of information about why I use snow foam personally. Some people don't use it. I find I like to do sort of a minimal touch detail, so that is essentially I don't like to touch the bike a lot whilst cleaning it, unless necessarily I have to. And when I do touch the bike, I want it to be sort of as clean as possible. The reason why is because you want to remove contaminants away from the bike. If you're going at it with a cloth, even how clean that cloth is, it's going to pick up debris from the bike, contaminants, and you're going to rub that all over the bike. The nature of it is stuff will happen like that. You've got to clean the bike, but if you're using something like a snow foam, if the snow foam gets a good mix and it's quite thick and it's good at its job, it will pull the contaminants down the bike as it moves down. You'll see snow foam generally sort of suds off onto the floor. What you want is that to pull the main contaminants away from the bike. So that's why I personally use snow foam. The snow foam I use is Motorverde. Their snow foam is very safe on motorbikes. It's actually been tested by Bennett's Bike Social. And it's also salt free, so if you do wash the bike regularly, if you're a commuter, you'll find that if you do leave some on, you're not going to end up with any corrosion on any nuts or bolts or anything like that. I personally will only use stuff that I know has been tested on motorbikes. Because of the open nature of an engine on a bike, yeah, lots of seals and precious metals, you want to use something that is safe to use and you're not going to worry about it sort of eating away at any parts whilst you're commuting. Before I show you some of this footage, I just want to give you a little bit of a background of sort of how I did this to make it sort of as fair as possible. This isn't scientific. I've used the same product which I've just shown before, which is the Motorverde Snow Foam. So in the IK foamer, I did a 1:2 mix, so I mixed 1 part snow foam, 2 parts water. I pumped this until I felt the resistance was sort of becoming too much and I might have a risk of sort of snapping the arm, just to get a rough idea of how much pressure is in there. With this sort of conventional washer bottle, I did exactly the same. 1 part Motorverde Snow Foam, 2 parts water. I've set the nozzle to be half, just because I've found from when testing this that in order to get anything to come out really, it needs to sort of be half open. Again, I pumped this until this was extremely sort of difficult to push. I didn't want to snap it. I guess really it's a fair test because they can both pressurise, I guess, at different pressures, so we want to test sort of how high this one can go compared to the IK. With the snow foam lance, obviously it's not a pressurised device, it's a mixing device, so I just basically set this Ryobi mixer to the max amount of snow foam it could mix. The second part of the test, I essentially used a car wheel just as a template surface. There's less sort of stuff in the way compared to a motorbike wheel, so you can see how the product goes on. What I did was I applied the product with the foamer, I then washed it off with clean water. I ragged that down with a clean rag so the surface was dry again, there was no product or residual water to mix with the next attempt, and then just repeated that for each 3 devices. I think you'll be surprised with the results here, especially with the IK, and yeah, so let's head over to that footage now and hopefully it'll give you some idea of how good each sort of a device is compared to each other. So I think you'll see from that footage, the IK definitely gave the most thick snow foam representation on that wheel. It stuck for a long time. I had to wash it off basically in the end because I wanted to get the other 2 shots done. I think the standard pressure bottle, it's just not what it's designed for. If that was a soap or a chemical for cleaning, you know, driveways of moss and things, yeah, it's perfect. That's what it's designed for. The Ryobi Lance, for what it is, the Ryobi pressure washer that I use isn't a high pressure device, that's why I use it. I don't want to break any seals or anything on the bike. So the fact it does get a foam out is quite impressive, and it's not the runniest sort of watered down foam I would expect. I have tried a Karcher Lance in the past and that's not any better. So I was quite impressed with the Ryobi, but I think you'll agree that the IK foamer is just it's just the best. It does its job, it stays on, and I want it to stay on, and the pre-treatment should last around 5 to 10 minutes, so if that foam is gripping for that long, then That's great. So that's it for this video, guys. Really appreciate you watching this. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, please drop it down in the comments below. I will link to the 3 different devices that I used here for American audiences. I will try and find something at Best Buy or something like that for you guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And please check out my other detailing videos. And also subscribe if you can. That'd be absolutely awesome. So thanks very much, guys. See you later.